Okay, guys, so we're back today on Tuesday. Okay, we're going to combine what we did yesterday with what we did Friday. Hopefully today will be a little bit better. Okay, I'm not going to make you do it the same way that we did on Friday, but we need an extra day of practicing to make sure that we really have it before we move on. Okay? So our objective for the day is that I can graph a line using slope intercept form and the reverse. Someday I'll learn how to spell. Slope intercept form and the reverse, so I can go the other way. All right? So before we get started, I want to talk about what we did yesterday. Okay? The first thing, right? We did these problems yesterday, and you guys did a much better job with this yesterday than we did on Friday. And that's because I think it's easier, and I didn't do a great job teaching you on Friday, evidently. So, with that being said, here we go. Let's practice. Start here, right? The y-intercept. It's where my line crosses the y-axis, so we're going to go to plus 3. Okay? Now, what's my slope? My slope is 3 over 1, right? I could put a 1 underneath there. So this is my rise, and this is my run, right? Okay, so if we remember from yesterday, the rise is positive 3, so we're going to go up 3. The run is positive 1, which means we go over to the right 1. Okay, so I got just barely enough room on my graph here. Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. We also talked yesterday about how we could change this and make these negatives. Now, if I make them both negative, that's what is the same number here, because that would basically be that. It would be a positive, right? So negative and negative make it positive, but in my directions, we go down and to the left. And you can see when I do that, 1, 2, 3 over 1, it falls right on my line. Okay? Good job, good job. Let's keep going, okay? Let's try another one. Here we go. Ooh, we didn't do one like this yesterday. I wanted to make sure that we did it. So if I have y equals negative 1/5 x, well, I don't see a y-intercept, do I? So what do I know that it is? Well, it's the only number that I could add, in quotations, air quotes, to this that won't change it. Well, if I add plus 0, that doesn't change any equation. It's just add nothing to it, right? So there's my y-intercept. Okay? Now let's talk about my slope. So I got negative 1 over 5. You pick one and make it negative. Don't make them both negative, because we just saw in the last example that if I do that, they become positive. So negative 1 over 5. So if it's negative 1 on top, that means I go down and to the right. Or I can go positive 1 over negative 5, which means we would go up and to the left. Okay, so let's put my points in the graph now. Here we go. I'm doing this one first. Here we go. Negative 1. So down 1, to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do the one over here now. Up 1, to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. Okay? How's that feel? Feeling okay? Feeling good? If you got this yesterday, I think you're probably feeling good. Uh-oh. All of a sudden, we got 2 different types of examples that we didn't talk about yet. Okay? These are both y equals, so nothing different there, except for what are they missing, guys? What do we normally see? Normally, there's an x right there, or an x right there, and then a number. We don't have either of those, but we actually kind of have one of those. Remember way back to when we were talking about slope, right? We talked about zero slope and we talked about undefined slope. Well, if I look at this, guys, what's a coordinate where I would have y equals 3? Well, one coordinate that would work would be 1, 3. See how my y coordinate's 3? What about 5, 3? Does that make my equation true? Yeah, it does. What about negative 2, 3? See how they all have a 3 in the y? So what would that look like if I plotted those 3 points? 1, 3, 5, 3, and negative 2, 3. What kind of line do I have there? That's right, guys. I have a zero slope line. I have a straight across line. Okay? Which makes sense. If I do this with my equation, it'd be 0x plus 3, right? It's a zero slope. But what's 0 times anything? 0 times anything is just 0. So what am I left with? Just y equals 3. That's where the equation comes from. Okay? So then what would this one be over here? -1 now. Well, look, first point would go at -1. And then which way does that line go? Straight across. Okay? If it was y equals -4, right? -4 down here, -4, straight across. Y equals 3, straight across. Okay? So, I said 99% of the time it's always y equals, and then there's an x in it, but this is the one time it's not. And there's also one time when it starts with x. So what does that line look like? Well, if we think back to our coordinate thing that we just did, okay? One of the coordinates would be -5, 5, let's just say. -5, 2. -5, -4, right? See how all of these have x coordinate of -5. So what does that look like when I put those points on the graph? What does it look like? -5, 5. -5, 2. -5, 4. Connect them. Ah, looky there. So if I have a line that's straight up and down, it's going to be x equals. 99.9% of the time, it always starts with y. This is the one chance it doesn't. Okay, so what about x equals 1? X equals 1 right here. And also, guys, in these x equations, that's the only time I ever put my first point on the x-axis. Every other time, it's on the y-axis. Okay? X equals 1, so everything is going to be straight up and down. What would this line look like? X equals 4. Okay, x equals 4. Whoop, right there. X equals -2. Right there. Okay? X lines are straight up and down. They have an undefined slope. Undefined. Remember that word? Okay, let's do a couple from the other day that didn't go so hot, but we're going to get back into it today. All right? If I look at this graph right here, right? Okay, if I look at that graph, what two pieces of information do I need? I need my slope, and I need my y-intercept. I need my slope, I need my y-intercept to make the equation. Okay, let's find it now. Y equals, okay, let's rise and run. Now, when I rise, I'm rising to the level of that other point. I'm rising to the level of that other point. When I get to that level, I'm running over to that point. Okay, so I'm rising the level up, running over once I get to that level. So how far did I rise? I went 1, 2, 3 blocks. So y equals 3. There's my rise. I ran 1, 2. There's my run. Then I put the letter x. And then what's my y-intercept? Where does that black line cross the y-axis? There's the y-axis, right? Where does this line cross? Right there, right? Which is 0. You can put 0 if you want, or if you don't want to, just leave it off of there. Okay? All right, come on. Let's keep going. A couple more. All right, here we go. There's the first point. Second point is going to be up there. Okay, remember, y equals mx plus b. If you want to find the y-intercept first, go for it. What's my y-intercept here? Here it is. It's that point right there, right? What's that? -1. Okay? Now let's find my slope. Rise up to the level of that point. Run over. Make a triangle. Let's count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Run. 1, 2, 3. And then what comes next? X. There we go. There's that equation. Okay? All right, I'll give you a moment. Try this one on your own. Try this one on your own. Here's your points. Tell me what the equation is going to be. Let's go here, here, and here. Tell me the equation. Pause the video if you need to. Stop it. We'll talk about that one afterwards. Try it on your own. What's that equation? Okay? We'll come back to that one. All right, a couple more. 2 more. Okay, here's my point right here. And here's my point right there. I'm going to use those 2 points. All right, you ready? Same idea. Y equals mx plus b. Same steps, same everything, guys. Okay, where's my y-intercept? Y equals, where's my y-intercept? It's right here, right? What is that? +1. Okay, now let's find the slope between those 2 points. How far do I have to go? Rise up to that level, run over. Rise up 1, run over 2. But which way did I go? I went to the left, which means my slope has to be negative. So I rose 1, I ran to -2, x. Okay, there's my -1. Had I gone the other way, it would have been the same idea, guys. Had I gone the other way, it would have been down 1, which is -1, run 2. But I went to the right, so it's positive. So same idea there. Okay? Hopefully this is making a little more sense today than it did Friday, coming off of yesterday as well. All right, last one, then we'll do some together. All right? Here we go. Let's try this one. Here's a point there. And let's do that point right there. Okay, you try on your own for a second. What would the equation be? Write it down. Okay, here we go. Y equals, let's find that slope. Let's find the slope, all right? There we go. Rise up, run over. How far did I go up? I went up 2. How far did I go over? I went 2, but I went to the left, right? I just drew my arrow to the left. Gotta make it a -2. Then comes x. Where's my y-intercept at? Where is my y-intercept? It's right here, right? What number is that? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's simplify and clean up just a smidge. 2 over -2, -1x plus 3. There's our equation for that line. Okay? All right, guys, we're going to work on this a little bit more. We're going to do some more examples, and then we'll have the practice. It'll probably just be on Canvas today. So look forward to that, and we'll talk in a few minutes, all right?